Hello and welcome to Opening to Abundance 2014. Love saying that. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm known for trying to throw way too much at you in one go. So I'm going to endeavour this time round to keep videos short and sweet, to make sure everything is transcribed for you and the information is easy for you to get hold of. 3 months may seem like a long time, but we've spent years conditioning ourselves against prosperity, against abundance. It's just the way the world works. It's counterproductive what we learn and what we surround ourselves by and the messages we get all the time. It's the opposite of what we need to be, live, believe. So I have found that the effects of this 3 months, for starters, there's a lot to cram in. I will choose to throw it all at you, to give you as much as I can possibly give in that 3 months. If it's starting to blow your mind and you become overwhelmed, you slow down, you stop, you don't go on to the next video or email until you're happy with where you're at. Go at your own pace, but I'm going to give you your money's worth. And as I say, do as much for you as I possibly can in this 3 months while we're together live. You go at your own pace. I will go a bit crazy with the throwing it at you, just so we know where we're at, okay? So yes, 3 months isn't a long time to rewrite some seriously old programming that you've been picking up since you were a baby. From the people around you, from energy, particularly when you were young, you were very receptive to vibes. And so what people were feeling and being and doing was far more of an impact on you than whatever they passed on to you verbally or whatever they told you and taught you by words. So there's a lot there that we may be stirring up. There's deep stuff, long-held stuff, a lot of releasing. A very important component to abundance is shame. So it may not feel fantastic all the time, but we're going to do that work. We're going to go there. So I will just give you a little overview for now, give you an idea of what to expect, and maybe a couple of things that you could get at the ready before we start. Quite a few changes that those of you who've been with me before will notice. For example, this time around, I will be talking about sex. I have not done that before. Also, we're going to have, I talked about affirmations and we used them, but we're going to do that together a lot more on this one. So in keeping with whatever theme we happen to be talking about that week, I will offer, feel free to choose your own if it doesn't resonate, to get something more personal for you, or if you're concentrating on something else that week, fine. But what I'm going to do is offer you an affirmation at the start of the week that will guide us through that week, so that all of us, if you wish, all of us can work together on the one affirmation. And I think it makes it more likely that we will repeat it, remind ourselves of it, live by it, imbue our daily life with it that much more. As I say with the if you want to, everything I say to you, everything I offer you, all comes with a preface that you have permission to give yourself permission to think whatever you're thinking. If that is what I'm saying just seems odd, that's okay. I ask you to just be open as possible. If it's that you want to go slower, life gets in the way and this is just, you're not keeping up with the pace, do that. Please do that. You, this week, when we're talking about money values, you may have like health at the front of your mind. That organically is what has come to you, and your affirmation, it feels more appropriate that that's about health. Go for it. You do that. Please share wherever you're at. Last time we had people joining late, halfway through. they would share with us on the Facebook group wherever they were at. Whatever pace, whatever week you're on, whatever topic you're covering, even if it seems to have nothing to do with what we're doing in the course, do share. Please share. It's always helpful to somebody else. We always pick something up or hear something that we need to hear. So permission, 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 that everything I say to you and everything I offer, take the best and leave the rest. Do what's right for you. On top of that, the take the best, leave the rest, I would just ask that you don't reject anything if the reason is simply, oh, that feels uncomfortable. I don't like that. Reason being, if you have that resistance feeling, the chances are that is exactly where you need to be. That's exactly the work that you need to do. If there's an affirmation that feels uncomfortable to say, that doesn't necessarily mean... By the way, an affirmation is a statement of truth. Here I am assuming that you know what an affirmation is. An affirmation is I am wealthy, healthy and alive, or any statement, mantra that you wish to repeat so that's what you focus on. That's an affirmation. So if it's just that it's uncomfortable, or a classic is if you have if it's short and sweet but you have trouble remembering the words. A very good generic affirmation, for example, is I love and accept myself, or I love and approve of myself. And there have been many cases of women going, I love and they can't get that other word. That's actually because that's how deep their self-rejection goes, how much they don't accept and approve of themselves. So what I ask is that don't only use affirmations and don't only work on the exercises that feel terrific, because if they feel terrific, you're probably already there. When there is a bit of uncomfortable or something that is just a bit icky, or I'd love you to give it a go. Please give it a go, because actually the greatest learning you're bound to uncover something really rich and juicy. It probably means there's something in there that just needs releasing, and it doesn't feel good often when we are releasing stuff. Okay, so yes, there will be an affirmation each week to guide us through. I am giving you 3 emails per week instead of 2, so there will be more things coming through your inbox more often. And it may seem like a lot of content. It's very easy to open an email, see a mass of words and think, oh, too much, can't deal with that. Just picture me talking to you. It's really not as much as it seems. It takes a lot longer for me to write something down. What I've been talking for 8 minutes. If I were to type this out, this would be pages. So I just ask that you kind of bear that in mind. And if you need to break it down, just read a paragraph at a time. Try to do that. Take it in little chunks rather than avoid it altogether, because it's always far bigger deal in your head than it is when you come to tackle it. And I make it as fun as possible, as humorous as possible. I totally acknowledge we're doing some deep soul work. That means it's not always going to feel really enjoyable going through the process. Therein lies the importance of your beautiful group on Facebook, because you can all go, somebody else tell me they're feeling this or they're hating this, or please be honest. Please scream over there and cry and shout and admit to, I'm resisting this one really badly, Vulnerability is key, and I am going to do whatever it takes to make you feel safe sharing in the group, because together we can really make magic happen. We can move one another along. We can make it easier for us all to become unstuck, to flow more easily, and to go through this whole process. I will give you in your first email a little overview of the fundamentals that are important to anything I coach on, and particularly in Opening to Abundance. I'm just going to give them a mention here so that if you want to get a head start on getting some things together, you can. I would like you, if possible, to record your journey in some way, shape or form. If you're short in time, do you have an audio app on your phone you could just record your voice on? You can do it on the computer if you want. Journal is great. I happen to believe we use a different bit of our brain when we're sitting down with real pen and real paper. So a journal or whatever works for you. And try to catch those nuances as you go, because in just a few weeks' time, you'll be so surprised when you go and have a look at week 1, some of the things you felt or thought. And then at the end of your 3 months and beyond, when you look back at what you hoped or dreamed, what you believed for yourself, what you believed was possible, how you believed the world worked, could be just miles away from where you are now. And if you don't record that along the way, you'll never remember that just how much has changed. It can be so subtle. And apart from anything else, it's also very cathartic to keep in touch with yourself. It helps you to identify what's coming up. I will sometimes not be aware of something until it's coming out of my hand, from that pen onto that page, where I didn't even know I thought this, or I hadn't even joined the dots, I hadn't even made these connections or had this awareness until it was there in front of me. So a journal of some description. In addition to that, and it's quite important that this is separate, a little notebook, the prettier the better, which is going to be what you may be familiar with, a gratitude journal. This will be your positive strokes book. Positive strokes are what we all need from the world around us. No man is an island, and we need affirmation external from ourselves. We will be working on building our self-esteem, being enough, feeling enough, regardless of what goes on around us. However, we're social beings. That's absolutely appropriate that we're social beings, and compliments don't hurt. Hearing that we are loved, having a hug is quite important. So in this positive strokes book, which I will explain a lot more later, you'll be putting in anything positive. Your gratitudes, anything and everything that you are thankful for, a minimum of 10 per day. And then on top of that, anything you are proud of at all that you did, felt, handled well, anything that you feel good about, anything you did for another. Maybe you did a favour for another. Maybe you gave a compliment to a stranger. Maybe you gave some positive feedback at work or to a child or anything like that. Maybe you received a compliment. Maybe you received a favour. Maybe somebody bought you a coffee. Maybe anything at all that is positive that you received, that you gave, that you're proud of yourself for. Think of complimenting yourself, not just writing gratitudes. I'm thankful for the roof over my head, the water, and so on and so on. I would like you to extend that and stretch yourself more into gratitudes for yourself. This will become a very important book, and this is the step that can be easily skipped. But it's if you do nothing else, if you don't read one more email, but from today you engage in your positive strokes book and did this every day for the next 3 months, massive changes would happen. If you did nothing else, this one thing will change your world. Please trust me on that. So a journal, book, notebook, computer for your journaling as often as you wish to record things. You can keep it short. I understand that, there's only so much time in the world because we don't yet have an abundance of time. And your positive strokes book. Now, in addition to that, another change for those who have done this OTA before, any paper, messy, rough paper, a separate book if you want to go for the whole art journaling, pens, felt tips, paints, can you nick stuff off your children? Whatever you have, if you haven't got money to spend, don't spend money. Just have a look around your house and see what you have, because I'm going to just and please, if you're panicking right now and thinking I'm not artistic, I'm not creative, you don't have to be in the slightest, and I happen to believe everybody is, but that's a whole other topic. So yes, just start to have a look around and see what you can get your hands on. And for those familiar with visioning, we will be doing visioning, vision books, vision pages, vision boards, whatever works for you. Again, I will go into this in more depth later, but what that means is ripping things out of magazines and other places. So start to collect that junk mail that's coming in, the catalogues, any magazines that you or friends, make sure they don't throw them away, keep hold of them, and we will be using those. By all means, start to cut out now if you're familiar with visioning and you see anything that speaks to you of an abundant life. Begin cutting out words, phrases and pictures. But for the rest of you, we'll cover this in more depth later. So visioning materials, some sort of arty fun stuff, pens or coloured pencils, paints, whatever you can get your hands on. Some method to record your journey in a journaling diary fashion, and your positive strokes book. I'm so looking forward to this. I will contain myself to 16 minutes. You won't believe how hard that is for me. And I so look forward to working with you. A new circle of women. I've felt the energy building on this one for quite a while now. I think this is juicy, juicy, juicy. Till next time. Bye-bye.